Hello and welcome to Arirang News. It's Thursday, October 6th here in Korea. Live from Seoul, I'm Han. Cleanup operations are ongoing this afternoon after Typhoon Chaba swept through the southern part of Korea yesterday, leaving a trail of destruction. The death toll has risen to 7 as 2 more bodies were recovered this morning. Lee Min-young starts us off.
The Korean peninsula is no longer under the direct influence of Typhoon Chaba, but the southern parts of Korea that were battered by the storm are still grappling with rescue and recovery operations. And more reports on the extent of the damage are still coming in. 3 casualties were reported in Busan. Among them is a construction worker who was killed after a crane toppled over, and an elderly woman who died after falling from the roof of her house. 3 casualties were reported in the nearby city of Ulsan, which was also slammed with torrential rain and powerful winds. The General Insurance Association of Korea reported Wednesday the typhoon caused more than $9 million in damages. More than 500 homes have been flooded and more than 1,600 vehicles submerged. Around 230,000 homes suffered power outages, and dozens of cultural properties were damaged. Almost 200 people from 90 households were forced to evacuate, and they are currently staying at local schools and community centers. Industrial plants were also affected by the typhoon. 2 Hyundai Motor plants in Ulsan and 20 other industrial facilities in the area were forced to suspend operations for a while due to the flooding. The storm, which has been downgraded to a tropical depression, is currently affecting parts of Japan. President Park Geun-hye has called for swift restoration measures to minimize the damage. The government also said it is considering designating the affected regions as special disaster areas. If so, local residents would be able to receive emergency relief and special administrative and financial support from the government. The city of Gyeongju was designated as a special disaster area following 2 powerful earthquakes that hit the region last month. Lee Min-young, Arirang News.
A job fair has kicked off to match young job seekers with startups fostered through the government's Creative Economy Drive. Attending the opening event, President Park Geun-hye pledged full support for youth job creation efforts so the newly launched businesses and passionate young people can lead future growth. Here's what she said.
무엇보다 창조 경제와 문화 융성을 통해 청년들이 원하는 ICT, 금융, 서비스 산업 분야의 질 좋은 일자리를 크게 늘려나가고 노동 개혁과 산업 구조 조정을 흔들림 없이 추진해서 우리 경제의 일자리 창출 능력을 근본적으로 강화해 나가겠습니다.
The government has also vowed to provide young job seekers with customized programs offering everything from career consulting to job training. Some 350 startups as well as small and mid-sized companies are anticipated to hire 1,200 young people at the job fair, taking place at COEX in Samseong-dong, southern Seoul. Korea will inject more money into the economy by the end of the year to help prop up domestic demand and address existing uncertainties. Shin Se-min with the details.
An additional 10 trillion won, or nearly $9 billion, will be used to prop up Korea's lackluster economy and minimize the fallout from the downside risks at home and abroad. The agreement between the government and the public sector came during an economy-related ministers' meeting on Thursday morning.
Although there are some positive effects expected from the Korea Sale Festa and the planned budget supplement, there are also growing uncertainties like the Hanjin shipping crisis, the auto walkouts, and the corporate restructuring drive.
He added that the government will work to swiftly implement the remainder of the budget supplement it had already planned to lay out in the 4th quarter, while the central and local governments will inject an additional $5.2 billion by the end of the year. The rest will be allocated to help companies in the public sector like the Korea Electric Power and the Korea Expressway Corporation win large-scale contracts in infrastructure. To boost domestic spending, the government also plans to simplify ways to utilize collected credit card points. Last year's expired credit card points amounted to roughly $120 million, and the government said it'll encourage local card companies to convert the points into cash or services. The government will also seek to invigorate the local tourism business by offering discounts to tourist facilities during a 2-week fall travel campaign that starts later this month. 신세민, Arirang News.
The UN Security Council has unanimously selected Antonio Guterres as the former Prime Minister of Portugal as the next UN Secretary General. All that remains now is a formal Security Council vote set for Thursday morning local time. In a 6th closed-door ballot on Wednesday, Guterres received 13 encouraged votes and 2 no-opinion votes from the 15-member council. What's important here is that none of the 5 veto-wielding powers on the Security Council voted against him. Guterres is a former UN High Commissioner for Refugees and former Prime Minister of Portugal from 1995 to 2002. Once confirmed, he will replace Ban Ki-moon of South Korea, who finishes his second 5-year term at the end of December. That does it for now. I'll be back with more headlines at 4 p.m. Korea time. Don't go away.